Hey everybody, Rick Russo alongside Zach Rickens at Hard Rock Stadium, and against Clemson it turned into Hard Rocky Top Stadium as the Volunteers finished the deal strong. And Zach, 31-14 the final, a much different situation and feel than last year. Remember in Nashville as Tennessee saw Purdue come back and win that game. It wasn't going to happen against the Tigers this year.
No, and you're always, when games start, trying to feel it out. How's this thing going to play out? And I thought it was interesting when Josh Heupel was flagged for unsportsmanlike, and then Tennessee was flagged a couple times on defense for pass interference. I was thinking, you know, is this really how it's going to kind of end the season? This great season that Tennessee's kind of jumped back onto the map, but that wasn't the case. The defense really stepped up, and an unfamiliar face to many in the national stage, Joe Milton, your Orange Bowl MVP. If we go back to August and say, Joe Milton, Orange Bowl MVP, how many people had that on the bingo sheet?
Yeah, Joe with 251 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, a big effort as he comes back home. Grew up about an hour from here in Pahokee, Florida. He was really happy about that.
It feels great. I pretty much been talking about it for the whole month, ever since we figured out that we was coming down here. It was a statement game for Tennessee as a team, also a statement game for me for playing home.
You know, earlier in the week, Rick, Hendon Hooker shared that Players Tribune article talking about how his time at Tennessee, and an excerpt from that was a conversation he had with Joe Milton that he's never won a bowl game. In all his time in college, he's never won a bowl game. He wanted to go out winning one, and Joe Milton came to him after everything happened. He said, "We're going to win this one for you, Hook."
Yeah, Joe was terrific, but he also got some help. Tennessee going into this game without Cedric Tillman and Jalen Hyatt, and do we have the new Hyatt maybe? Squirrel White, 9 receptions for 108 yards and 1 touchdown, 76 yards receiving for Ramel Keaton. He also had a touchdown. They were terrific. So was that Tennessee defense. It seemed like Clemson was driving down this field all night, but they get into the red zone, and that's where the problems occurred. Only 3 points in the first half.
Yeah, you know, Rick, there was a point during that broadcast where ESPN put a graphic up. So many plays in opponent's territory, and I think Tennessee's was a quarter that of Clemson's, but that was the theme of the night on defense, where Clemson could move the ball. They had a lot of yardage last night, but just could not finish drives. A lot of that was kind of decision-making, where you go for the fourth down conversion, don't get it, the fake field goal, but then a lot of that was the field goal misses. But the defense really forcing a lot of that, and Aaron Beasley talked about wanting to hold them to no points there in the red zone.
We just play better when the pressure's on and they're about to score. We don't want them to score, so I feel like, you know, that played a part in our schemes and stuff like that.
Bend but not break for that Tennessee defense. Really, the whole team played well in a game that enabled Tennessee to finish with 11 wins, first time since 2001. And the Vols, do you realize this? During this season, defeated 3 of the last 4 national champions in Clemson, LSU, and Alabama. An overall wonderful performance, and the coach talked about that after the game.
There's so many positive things, so much momentum inside of our program that the entire country, our players, our fan base, recruits, can see the trajectory of where Tennessee is and where it's going. And tonight's a big night.
Rick, I mentioned the bingo card. How many fans had Joe Milton winning the Orange Bowl MVP before the season started? Not too many, I'm sure.
He earned it for sure.
But how many fans had Tennessee beating 6 of the last 7 national champions? A job well done by Josh Heupel and his staff in year 2.
Yes, and the coach mentioned after that the future is freaky bright, and why not? With a lot of these guys coming back in a terrific recruiting class, cannot wait for 2023. With Zach Rickens at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida, Rick Russo, WVLT Sports.